Hello everyone. Okay, so I had a ortho appointment today. I know I've been posting content like crazy recently, but I wanted to first of all give it a go at explaining how braces actually move your teeth. And second of all, I want to give you guys a quick update. So if you didn't watch my first video about my braces, this is actually my second time having this treatment. I've had braces before. I had them for 8 years, okay? This set, however, I got on in May of this year, so it's been about 7 months now. I really wish I could show you guys like comparison photos, but unfortunately when I first got them on the second time, I was just feeling very insecure about it. I had posted a video on my Snapchat, but of course I don't think it's saved. If it is, then I'll just link it here and you guys can kind of see. Not that it's close up or anything. So I'm gonna come a little close here so you guys can see what I got going on. Okay, so the first thing that the orthodontist does, and this is my attempt at explaining how braces actually move your teeth. Now, I just want to let you guys know, obviously I'm not an orthodontist. I don't work in dentistry as a profession. So this is just like research I've done. I also tend to ask a lot of questions when I'm at the orthodontist just so I can understand what's going on with my treatment, and also so I feel like my videos are a little bit more effective when I do that as well. So these things here, like not the dark gray part, but the lighter gray, basically. Those are your brackets, okay? So they glue the brackets onto your teeth, and it's actually really important where they actually place the bracket on the tooth, because that's going to determine how the wiring affects and how the teeth actually move. So they're going to place the brackets on the tooth. They're going to glue them on. The next thing they're going to do is put the wire. There's like a little, not an insert, but sort of like an opening in the brackets that the wire can sit in, okay? And then the last thing that they do after they put the wire on is they wrap the band around it, around the wiring, so it'll stay attached to the bracket, and then it can help you adjust your teeth, okay? So the dark gray is the color of the rubber band that I picked to have today, and that goes over the wire that sits in the bracket. So how this actually moves your teeth is that we have obviously our teeth sitting in our mouth, and then we have our gums, and then we have basically this like protective layer, and that's to help absorb the shock of us chewing so it doesn't like hurt our jawbone, because apparently our teeth are actually stronger than our bones. So we have to have like this protective layer to ensure that, you know, all the pressure that we put on our mouths and our teeth when we chew, we want to make sure that that doesn't move to like our jawbone and like essentially snap it in half. So what's happening with your braces is they're putting the brackets on, blah, blah, blah. They're throwing in this wire and putting the rubber band over the wire. And what's happening is the wire is applying this like consistent pressure to your teeth, which is sort of breaking down that protective layer that, you know, protects your bone, and opening the space, allowing the tooth to move where we want it to move to. And so essentially, like, our body is designed in a way to where the bone will actually break down and then rebuild itself, which obviously, because your jaw and like everything is connected, your teeth, your gums, the protective layer in your jaw, like everything is intertwined. Like we can't just, you know, it's not just your teeth, it's like this whole unit as your mouth. And so you essentially break down the bone, and then your bone rebuilds itself in the position that the tooth has moved to. And so I would imagine that's probably why this process is so painful, is because we're putting this pressure on our teeth that's breaking down that protective layer that, you know, protects our bones, our jawline essentially, or your jawbone. That's being broken down basically to open up like a space so the tooth can move into that new space, and then the bone has to rebuild itself so you can, you know, like keep your space here. And so today, for example, I didn't get a new wire, okay? So when you go, like a lot of people say, oh, I got my braces tightened today. you don't really get your braces tightened. Like, there's not anything on my braces, like in the back, that it's not like a screw or anything that where you actually tighten your braces. What happens is when these wires, this size of wire that I'm wearing right now, when that is no longer producing results, like it's no longer applying that force that's needed to actually move my teeth, they're going to replace this wire with a thicker wire, okay? And so the thicker wire is going to be, you know, like heavier, and it's going to create more pressure, which means it's going to allow for additional movement. And so when you go into your orthodontist appointments, not every single one is going to be a new wire. So when I was in there today, for example, my dentist was like, okay, or my orthodontist said, you know, these wires are doing really well, especially your bottom ones, he said. And so he went ahead and left the wire. He said, I'm not going to give you a new wire today, maybe, you know, in a couple months. And then they did a figure 8. So they call this thing a figure 8, which is just the technique. Like, it's basically an additional loop for the rubber band on this tooth here. So that I can feel. You guys wouldn't be able to see it. But sometimes you'll hear your orthodontist say, like, figure 8, this tooth and blah, blah, blah. And what he's saying is, you know, tie this rubber band on this tooth tighter, and that's probably because maybe that tooth isn't, is that food in my mouth? Maybe that tooth isn't moving as well as the rest of them. Okay, so that's how that works. It's not an actual tightening process. It's you getting a new wire that's thicker and heavier, and actually sometimes it can be made of different materials. I don't know the standard material of like the, you know, normal, like, I don't know how the material changes or when it progresses or if it's only in certain cases and things like that. But obviously the thicker the wire gets, the more pressure it's going to apply on your teeth, which is going to push to give you more movement. Like, there's only so much movement that this wire is going to give me, is basically what my is how he explained it to me. Okay, so I went in today. I didn't get a new wire. We are 7 months into my treatment. This second round, I'm only supposed to have them on for 2 years, which is a godsend, because the first time I had them on was literally 8 years. So wear your retainer, kids. It's no joke. I also wanted to say, unfortunately, do not do as I do. I wanted to tell you guys this. So it's actually an interesting story. The first time I had braces, I was like probably 6 years into the treatment. This sounds so crazy. I can't believe I had braces that long. And I just want to say the braces, like, this includes, I got my spacers and my expander in the 5th grade, and then I had braces on starting my 6th grade year of middle school, and I didn't get them off till almost my graduating month of my senior year. But it was definitely my senior year. So about 7 years that I had these things on my teeth the first time. So I'm sure you can imagine how my teeth were initially when I got them, because a lot of people ask me now, like, why'd you get braces? Because people think that my teeth look relatively straight. So at least the first round got me to like a decent place. They're not straight at all, and I have a really bad overbite, as you guys can see. But they were much worse when I first got braces. Anyways, what I wanted to talk to you guys about real quick. The first time when I was like 6 years into my treatment, I went to go get my teeth cleaned at my regular dentist, and my gums were so swollen. Like, my mouth was just a hot mess, literally. My dentist told me to take my braces off. Like, they were causing so much stress on my teeth and my mouth that he was literally, like, clinically and health-wise advising me to remove my braces, because I had them on for so long and my mouth was just like so unhealthy and swollen, and my gums were in really bad shape. And of course my parents at that time were paying for my braces, and they're like, no way, like, she's almost done. So I had to get like this special mouthwash and blah blah blah, and we got through it. Today I thought my orthodontist was going to murder me. We were hanging out down here, and I've got some plaque going on. So luckily, the orthodontist that I see is actually attached to a dentist's office, and of course that's where I go to get my teeth cleaned. So luckily, before my next adjustment appointment, which is in January, I'm gonna go in, they're gonna remove the wire, and I'm gonna get my teeth cleaned before I do my next adjustment. And I just want to say, especially to young ones or parents of children who have braces, it can affect like how effective the braces are if you do not keep your teeth clean. And actually my orthodontist told me that today. Again, I ask a lot of questions, and I'm really engaged with him because I think he's awesome. I actually want to have him in one of my videos eventually, because he's just like one of those people that professionally, he's just so good at what he does, and he like actually cares about it, and he's very intellectual, you know, and he's really engaging with you as a patient, so I just adore him. But he was like, you know, if you don't keep your teeth clean, that can actually affect like them moving or adjusting the way that we want them to. And so I'm gonna have to dish out the money to get my teeth cleaned. Lucky for me, because they're in the same office, I can get the wire removed. They're gonna do the teeth cleaning, and then I'll just do my adjustment basically all in the same day. But typically, you know, orthodontists can go as far as to removing your braces if you don't keep your teeth clean, because again, it affects the effectiveness of the braces themselves, and we just want to practice good oral hygiene anyway. So I was kind of upset over that. Like, usually I have issues down here, like whenever I get my teeth cleaned, never any cavities, never any, you know, nothing going on, no crowns, nothing crazy, but I always, it's like the bottom teeth down here, I just have, I guess, a hard time keeping them clean. So make sure you guys keep your braces clean. Again, we are 7 months in. So what'll come next after this, once we get the top and the bottom aligned, then they're gonna have to throw on my rubber bands and adjust my bite. So we're gonna have to essentially pull back my top teeth, and we're probably gonna have to move it, because rubber bands will move your teeth forward and back and left and right as well. So based on what I know about my bite, we'll probably have to move it a little bit to the left as well. So we're gonna have to scoop my entire like top row of teeth to the rear, like it needs to be moved back, and then we'll probably have to adjust it like left or right as well. So hopefully that will happen soon. And I'm gonna start keeping pictures so I can put them on my videos for you guys, and you can actually see the progression. Sorry, I did not start that earlier, but it's only been 7 months, so it won't be too crazy. And then I'll probably do another update at the May marker, which will be my year marker, or like another 6 months later, basically. So every 6 months I'll do like an update so you guys can see. I just have really big teeth and a lot of teeth in a really small mouth. But it makes for a good smile once I get my braces off. Okay, nice to see you guys. Have a great week.